So what did you think of that? Why don't you give me comments below, or send me some questions about how you thought Napoleon's elevator pitch went. What I want to do now is to help you analyze Napoleon's elevator pitch, or his golden nugget, so that you can see how it fits with this pyramid. So can you remember what his mission was? You're right, his mission was world dominance. So his mission was world dominance. That's pretty powerful. There's some excitement there. How is he going to do that? How is he going to do that? His strategy is capture Western Europe. How is he going to capture Western Europe? Oh, by the way, capture is a very powerful word. Dominance and capture, very strong words, create excitement, triggers the imagination for the listener. How is he going to capture Western Europe? He's going to do this with the latest warfare technology, which is horses and cannons. Horses, that's cavalry, and cannons, which is artillery. Now, in 1815, this was good technology. If he had said, well, I'm going to use crossbows and broadswords, Baron Rothschild would have known that's 200-year-old technology. Get out of here. But Rothschild knows that horses and cannons are winning wars at this point. So now let's test Napoleon's nugget, or Napoleon's elevator pitch, against this structure. How is he going? Why is he doing the tactics of horses and cannons? Because it supports the strategy to capture Western Europe. Why does he want to capture Western Europe? Because it supports his mission of world dominance. Another test that you have to do is what I call the what test. Are your mission, your strategy, your tactics understandable to your 15-year-old son or to your mother-in-law? Do they understand it, or do they laugh at you when you say it, or do they say, well, what are you talking about? So let's test the what for the mission. Will your 15-year-old or your spouse understand world dominance? Yes, they will. They might not know how the heck you're going to achieve it, but they'll understand it. Will they understand capture Western Europe? Yes, they'll understand it, particularly if they've had world history and they know that there are a lot of wars in Western Europe, and so this is understandable. Will they understand horses and cannons? Probably not, unless you explain that that was technology from 1815. But Baron Rothschild certainly would understand cavalry and artillery, and he knows that they're winning wars. And so as you build your nugget, and I'm going to give you other examples in a minute, as you build your nugget, you want to make sure that the logical structure is that the mission is supported by the strategy, and the strategy is supported by the tactic, and you want to test each of your statements for mission, strategy, or tactics to make sure that they're understandable to the common everyday person. Now, many of all of the entrepreneurs that have been through the boot camp know the Napoleon elevator pitch. I invented it about 10 years ago to help students, to give them a gold standard against which they could test their nugget. But many of them say, gee, George, I'm not identifying with world dominance. That's not what I'm doing. I'm a technology company. Help me out here. Give me an example that I can identify with, an everyday, today example for technology. And so I thought about it for a while, and I said, well, I knew Steve Jobs quite well when he was at Next, and he is an A+ type like Napoleon, full of energy and full of creative ideas. And so what I've done is I've made up Steve Jobs's elevator pitch. And so, again, this is another gold standard that you can use to test. If you don't want to use Napoleon's elevator pitch, we can use Steve Jobs' elevator pitch. So, what would Steve Jobs' elevator pitch be? So I'm going to play Steve Jobs now. So, good afternoon. I'm Steve Jobs. Fellow, other investors and VCs, thank you for taking my time. I want to give you my elevator pitch. My mission is to create a new trillion-dollar industry. Now, time out for a second. A new trillion-dollar industry, that's fantastic. I'm a VC. I'm interested in any new company that's going to at least have $1 billion worth of revenue. But $1 trillion, that's 1,000 times higher than my threshold. So create a new trillion-dollar industry that's 1,000 times bigger than what my expectations are. All of a sudden, I'm getting excited. This is like world dominance in technology. A new trillion-dollar industry. The hairs on the back of my head are standing up. I'm paying attention. So Jobs says, I'm going to create a new trillion-dollar industry. How am I going to do that? My strategy is to cannibalize 20 existing successful businesses. His strategy is to cannibalize 20 existing successful businesses. And how am I going to do that? The tactics are that I have in my pocket a simple device, a cell phone, which replaces your cameras, your PCs, your calculators, your watches, your telephone, your books, your CD player, your credit card, and many, many more. Now let's take a look at this. So, in hindsight, it's pretty easy to see that this is pretty darned exciting, and Jobs is certainly going to get permission from the investors to tell his story, because they've never heard anybody come in and say they're going to create a $1 trillion industry by cannibalizing existing industries and replacing everything that you're used to in your electronic life, which is exactly what the smartphone did. And Jobs was very clever in capitalizing on that. I remember, maybe you do as well, when he introduced the first iPod. He was in San Francisco, and big exciting crowd, and he reached into his pocket and he pulled out a device. He says, I've got 1,000 songs in my pocket. And the place went crazy because nobody at that time had 1,000 songs that could go on a pocket player and it could replace other devices. And so this smartphone is like 1,000 times more important than the iPod by itself. Now let's analyze Steve Jobs' his mission, strategy, and tactics. His mission is to create a new $1 trillion industry. Do you understand that? Does your 18-year-old daughter understand it? Does your friend you play golf with, does he understand it? The answer is yes. How is Steve going to do that? His strategy is to cannibalize 20 existing successful industries or business sectors. That is also pretty understandable. And the tactic is to replace existing industries, and then he gives you a long list from your watch to your CD player to your television to your calculator, etc. And so this is also understandable. Can he do that? I don't know. I mean, this is a tall order. And in fact, Steve did have trouble raising money because some of his ideas were just too big. Can we stop now?